Noah Lyles can't say nothing after what just happened to him. You know what I'm saying? Then he want to come out and pretend like he's sick. I feel like that's like horseradish. So for him to like do that and say that we're not world champions of like our sport says like come on, bro. Like just speak on what you know about. You know what I'm saying? And that's track.
Would you
You
like to
feel me?
race him when he gets home?
I will beat Noah Lyles.
You think
I
so?
will beat Noah Lyles.
Like by a lot.
No, I wouldn't beat him by a lot, but I would beat Noah Lyles.
I'd like to see that happen.
Can an NFL superstar really challenge the fastest man alive? What happens when trash talk turns into track spikes? And is Tyreek Hill about to make the most shocking career move in sports history? The gloves are officially off. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill just threw down the gauntlet in the most explosive way possible. And Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles is standing in his crosshairs. This isn't just another social media beef, this is a full-scale declaration of war that's about to shake the entire sports world to its core. It's a sunny Friday afternoon in Sherman Oaks, California. While most NFL players are relaxing during the offseason, Tyreek Hill is lacing up track spikes for the first time in over a decade. The Last Chance Sprint Series is about to witness something unprecedented. An active NFL superstar going head-to-head with elite sprinters, and the results are absolutely mind-blowing. Hill blazes down the track and stops the clock at 10.15 seconds in the 100-meter dash. To put that in perspective, this time would have qualified him for the semifinals at the 2024 Olympics. We're talking about a performance that's faster than 99.9% of human beings on this planet. But here's where it gets spicy. Immediately after crossing the finish line, Hill holds up a sign that sends shockwaves through the track and field community. Noah could never. The audacity, the confidence, the absolute nerve. Hill just called out the reigning Olympic champion, the man who owns the title of fastest human on Earth, and he did it with the swagger that only comes from someone who genuinely believes he can back up his words. The numbers don't lie, or do they? Now, let's talk about what 10.15 seconds really means in the world of elite sprinting. Hill's time is legitimately impressive. There's no sugarcoating needed here. This is a 31-year-old NFL player who hasn't run a competitive 100-meter dash since 2014, and he just posted a time that would make college track coaches drool. The man is a genetic freak, and Friday's performance proves that all your favorite NFL players really are built different. But here's where reality comes crashing down like a freight train. Noah Lyles ran 10.14 seconds when he was just 18 years old, 13 days after his birthday. That's right, teenage Lyles was already faster than current-day Hill, and we haven't even talked about Lyles' monster times yet. At the 2024 Paris Olympics, Lyles blazed to Olympic gold with a scorching 9.79 seconds. At the 2023 World Championships, he dominated with 9.83 seconds. In fact, researchers had to dig deep into the archives to find the last time Lyles ran slower than 10.15 seconds. It was back in April 2022. This man has been consistently running faster than Hill's best time for over 3 years straight. The gap between 10.15 and 9.79 might seem small, just 0.36 seconds, but in the world of elite sprinting, that's an eternity. That's the difference between first place and dead last. That's the difference between Olympic glory and watching from the couch. This war of words didn't start with Hill's California sprint. Oh no, this beef has been simmering for months, and both athletes have been throwing verbal haymakers that would make professional wrestlers jealous. It all began last August when Lyles captured Olympic gold and cemented his status as the fastest man alive. Hill, never one to back down from a challenge, started making noise about his own speed. The social media exchanges heated up, with both men making bold claims about who would win in a head-to-head race. Then came February's power move from Lyles. After winning the 60 meters at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix, the Olympic champion held up his own sign. Tyreek could never. The gloves were off, and the track was set for the ultimate showdown. Hill fired back with conviction that would make Muhammad Ali proud. I've been very adamant to show people what real, true speed looks like. The confidence is undeniable, but the question remains, can he actually deliver when it matters most? Lyles responded with the cold, calculated precision of a champion. Everybody says that they're going to be the world's fastest, but when it comes down to it, you got to be the winner every time, each and every time. And if I got to go down and beat up on Tyreek to prove that I'm the world's fastest, then it's going to be done. This isn't just about two elite athletes settling a score. This is about legacy, respect, and the eternal question of which sport produces the most explosive athletes. Hill isn't just representing himself. He's carrying the banner for every NFL player who's ever claimed to be the fastest man alive. But Lyles, he's defending more than just his personal record. He's protecting the integrity of track and field, a sport where hundreds of seconds separate legends from footnotes. Every time an NFL player makes speed claims, track athletes roll their eyes and mutter under their breath. This race could settle that debate once and for all. The pressure on Hill is immense. He's already put his reputation on the line with that Noah could never sign. If he gets smoked by Lyles, every NFL speed claim for the next decade will be met with laughter and references to this moment. But if he somehow pulls off the upset, the entire sports world will have to reconsider everything they thought they knew about athletic cuirass over potential. Here's where things get problematic for Hill. While he's been catching passes, Lyles has been perfecting the art of moving faster than any human should be able to move. Track and field is a sport of millimeters and milliseconds, where every aspect of technique is refined to absolute perfection. Hill admitted he was hoping to run a 10 flat on Friday, falling short by 0.15 seconds. In sprinting terms, that's the difference between confidence and concern. Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel's lukewarm reaction was telling, "I have no idea, nor do I care. As long as he doesn't train to be a sprinter and he's running routes while he's doing it, that's cool." This reveals the underlying tension. Hill is risking injury and dividing his focus during crucial NFL preparation. Is this about proving a point, or is Hill serious about transitioning to track and field? Perhaps the most shocking revelation is Hill's stated goal of competing in the 2028 Olympics, not as a flag football player, but as a legitimate track and field athlete. This transforms the narrative from publicity stunt to genuine career pivot. If Hill is serious about Olympic qualification, Friday's 10.15 seconds is just the beginning. He would need to drop significant time while competing against athletes who have perfected their craft since childhood. The dedication required would be unprecedented for an active NFL player. Both athletes have confirmed a race is coming in 2025. The anticipation is building to fever pitch. Will it be a standalone event, a made-for-TV spectacle? The logistics are fascinating. How do you create fair competition between an athlete in peak track condition and an NFL player splitting training time? Here's the brutal truth. Hill will probably lose. Lyles has years of specialized training that raw athleticism can't overcome. But Hill's 10.15 seconds proves he belongs in the conversation. His willingness to risk his reputation shows championship fire. The question isn't whether Hill can beat Lyles. It's whether he can make it competitive. Can he drop into the 9.9s? Can he prove NFL speed translates to track? When these titans line up, the sports world will be watching. The war is declared, lines drawn. Get ready for the race of the century.
Murphy, but here comes Gout Gout. We knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout of this universe.
He broke Usain Bolt's record at just 16, then ran a 200 meters so fast it shouldn't even be possible. But the craziest twist? He didn't even win the spotlight for the race. At just 17 years old, Gout Gout did something most sprinters only dream of. He ran faster than a young Usain Bolt. But that's only the beginning of the story. In a whirlwind of trackside drama, record-breaking performances, and Olympic dreams, this teenage phenomenon from Australia is turning the sprinting world upside down. Born in Queensland to South Sudanese parents who migrated to Australia in 2005, Gout's rise has been nothing short of meteoric. With a name that's impossible to forget and speed that's impossible to ignore, Gout became a household name almost overnight. And it wasn't just because of his talent, it was because he dethroned a legend. At the Australian Schools Championships in Brisbane, Gout stunned everyone by running the 200 meters in a blistering 20.04 seconds. That wasn't just fast, it was history in the making. That time didn't just break personal bests, it smashed two major records: Usain Bolt's under-17 world mark of 20.13 seconds and Australia's national record of 20.06 seconds set by Peter Norman back in 1968. In one unforgettable sprint, Gout etched his name into 2 record books, proving he's not just fast, he's historic.
Watch him go here, Gout Gout. He's already got the stagger, so he moves right on past Chase Grant, and now we really start to open him up. So let the legs loose and let the kid run. He is absolutely gone. He is Gout of this world.
But he wasn't done yet. At the 2025 Australian Athletics Championships in Perth, Gout lined up for the 200-meter final with one goal, to go even faster. And that's exactly what he did. He crossed the finish line in a jaw-dropping 19.84 seconds. The crowd went wild, the cameras flashed, and commentators were nearly speechless. It was the kind of moment athletes train a lifetime for. But there was a catch.
We knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout. It says, hey world, this is me.
The tailwind during that race was plus 2.2 meters per second, just above the legal limit for record validation. That meant the 19.84 couldn't go down in the books as an official record. Still, it was the second fastest time ever run by an under-20 athlete in any conditions. Legal or not, it was a statement. Gout was here, and he was coming for everything. Yet the race wasn't just defined by the stopwatch, it was also marked by an unexpected and emotional moment of sportsmanship. Lachlan Kennedy, Gout's main rival and fellow Aussie sprinter, false-started and was disqualified before the race even began. For any athlete, especially one in peak form, it's a crushing way to exit. But what Kennedy did next surprised everyone. He ran over to Gout after the race, not out of frustration, but to embrace and congratulate him. The gesture went viral. In a sport often defined by competition and ego, this show of respect stood out. 2 competitors, 1 moment of unity. And that unity mattered because both Gout and Kennedy had entered that race hoping to make history together by breaking the 20-second barrier. Gout made it. Kennedy, due to the false start, would have to wait. But the respect between them told the world this wasn't just a rivalry, it was a shared mission. Feels really good. That's what I've been chasing, said Gout of smashing through the 20-second barrier. It's hard to ignore the comparisons to Usain Bolt. The towering Jamaican sprinter set the gold standard for speed, and anyone running close to his times is bound to draw parallels. But Gout isn't interested in being the next Bolt. He's made it clear. He wants to build his own legacy, one that's rooted not in imitation, but in innovation. And he's well on his way. His recent performances haven't just caught the attention of the Australian media, they've made waves internationally. Track analysts, Olympic veterans, and even Bolt himself have taken notice. The excitement isn't just hype, it's recognition. Gout isn't a one-race wonder, he's a generational talent. But what makes Gout truly fascinating isn't just his times, it's his mindset. After a disappointing run just 2 weeks before his 19.84 performance, many athletes would have crumbled under the pressure. Not Gout. Instead, he used the setback as fuel. He trained harder, focused sharper, and delivered a performance that left even seasoned sprinters in awe.
Be Gout of this universe! Unbelievable too!
His journey is also part of a larger wave of rising Australian talent. Names like Cameron Myers, Jessica Hull, Rohan Browning, and Tori Lewis are rewriting what it means to be a track star down under. But even among that elite company, Gout stands out. His speed is jaw-dropping. His potential is limitless. And the future? It's already unfolding. Gout has his eyes set on the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, where he'll go head-to-head with the world's best. Beyond that, his sights are firmly locked on the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics and the 2032 Brisbane Games. Those aren't just goals. They're the next chapters in a story that's just getting started. Even now, Gout continues to train with relentless intensity. His coaches describe him as unusually focused for someone his age, constantly breaking down race footage, obsessing over starts, and finding milliseconds to shave off. That drive is what separates a fast kid from a future legend. He's not just chasing records, he's engineering greatness. The excitement around Gout isn't limited to fans and coaches. Sponsorships and endorsements are beginning to follow, but his inner circle is cautious. They know the pressure that comes with fame, especially at such a young age. Still, those close to him say he's handling the spotlight with surprising maturity. His interviews are grounded, his goals are clear, and his work ethic speaks for itself. The global track community is watching. There's a hunger for the next big thing, and many believe Gout Gout could be it. With every sprint, he's showing that speed isn't just a gift, it's a message. One that says, I belong on this stage. If anything is clear, it's this. Gout Gout isn't waiting for the future. He's sprinting straight into it. With every race, he's redefining what's possible, not just for himself, but for every young athlete watching. And if 19.84 seconds is what he can do at 17, just imagine what's coming next. Because in a world where speed defines greatness, Gout Gout isn't just fast, he's legendary in the making. Like and subscribe if you want to say you knew about Gout Gout before he took over the Olympics.
Gout Gout has broken the magical 20-second barrier as he took the 200-metre title at the Australian Athletics Championships in Perth.
A teenager with a name you've probably never heard just broke a 56-year-old record. He trains in silence, avoids the spotlight, and still managed to stun the entire athletics world. So who is Gout Gout? And how did he get this fast, this young? The answer might surprise you. At just 17 years old, Gout Gout is running faster than most professional sprinters twice his age. He's already broken national records, stunned the athletics world, and clocked times faster than Usain Bolt did at the same age. But behind the medals, headlines, and wind-assisted sub-10-second sprints is a deeper story. A story of raw talent, discipline, sacrifice, and a coach who's been through more than most. This is the story of Gout Gout, Australia's next big hope in sprinting, and how he's torching the 200 meters like nobody expected.
Knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying, he will be Gout.
Gout Gout wasn't born into fame. He's the son of South Sudanese immigrants and grew up in Queensland, Australia. From a young age, Gout stood out, not because he was loud or flashy, but because he was fast, really fast. At Ipswich Grammar School, where he's still finishing year 12, Gout's speed quickly became impossible to ignore. Teachers, classmates, and eventually coaches started noticing. But the person who saw the biggest potential in him early on was Di Shepherd, the woman who would become his coach, mentor, and guiding hand. Di Shepherd isn't your typical athletics coach. She didn't come from an elite sports background. In fact, she used to work at Woolworths and then in a school uniform shop. She first started training athletes through her involvement in Little Athletics with her own kids. She didn't go to the Australian Institute of Sport. She wasn't part of the High Performance Network. But what she lacked in connections, she made up for with passion, discipline, and a no-nonsense approach. She noticed something special in Gout, not just his speed, but his mindset, his ability to stay calm under pressure, his emotional intelligence. She says it takes about 4 years to really know an athlete, and she's been working with Gout for almost that long. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where Gout Gout starts turning heads. In December, at the Australian All-Schools Championship, Gout ran 20.04 seconds in the 200 meters. Breaking Peter Norman's national record that had stood since 1968. That record was older than Gout's parents. Gout Gout ran the 200 meters in 20.04 seconds, which broke the 56-year-old Australian record held by Peter Norman and also surpassed Usain Bolt's personal best at the same age. In April at the Australian Athletics Championships, he clocked a wind-assisted 9.99 in both his heat and the final of the 100 meters. Those times don't count as official records because the wind was too strong. But they prove one thing. He's getting dangerously close to running a legal sub-10. That's something only one Australian has ever done. Patrick Johnson, who ran 9.93 back in 2003. But greatness doesn't come without sacrifice. Coach Di Shepherd has made it clear, to compete at the top, you don't get to live like a normal teenager. Your social life will be non-existent, she told Gout years ago. And now, that's exactly what's happening. While most of his classmates are out with friends or relaxing after school, Gout is training 6 days a week. He does 2 gym sessions on top of that. And he still has to study for his final exams. I've been telling him for a couple of years that when we get to a set point, your social life will be pretty much non-existent, in the sense you just can't go out where you want, she says. He's at that